Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. My name is Kia. Today I have just come to talk to somebody who wants to succeed. I just want to unlock somebody's life. Yeah? I just want to talk about the law of confession, the importance of the law of confession. That is how you unlock your life. I'm talking to somebody who wants to move to where they are to a better situation. The law of gravity is just like the law of confession. The law of confession is just like the law of gravity. Those who understand the law of gravity, that's exactly what's the law of confession. Let me explain this. Maybe there are people who don't understand what is the law of gravity. Law of gravity is this. You throw something up, that which you have thrown up is not going to hang on air. It will definitely come down. Even if you practice now, just throw maybe a stone up, a ball, anything up, you'll realize it will come down, irregardless of what. That is exactly what happens with the law of confession. You speak words, they come back with results. You speak negative words, they attract negative results. You speak positive words, they attract positive results. That's the law of confession. Hence the importance of always confessing positive. So, what happens with when somebody speaks negative? I need to correct this before we go far. If somebody speaks negative about you, it is not going to affect you as long as you speak positive towards yourself. Remember, you have power on yourself compared to any other person. So what you need to practice is always speak positive so that your words goes and attract positive. Teach your children to speak positive. Listen to this. Even you realize your child is not doing well, your beloved is not doing well, but always speak positive and teach them to speak positive and to act positive. When the law of confession goes together with actions, you don't just speak and leave it. We speak and act. The same like the law of gravity. You throw something up, you see it come down. So most people, they don't realize that the law of confession does the same like the law of gravity, because we don't follow what we have spoken. We don't care what we think we have spoken. That's it. But if you look at what you have spoken and you now want to really pursue what you have spoken and to see the results, you realize every time you speak negative, you reap negative things. Every time you speak positive, you reap positive things. Yeah. You notice when you always say, there's this tendency, people that say, the location where I was born or where I live, everybody's poor. Where I come from, we are all poor. We are known that location is poor. We are known that clan is poor. Even at school, we try our best, but we don't mount to anything. We try to do this business, we don't mount to anything. But only one person who can choose to say, I'm going to confess goodness, positive, you'll realize they mount to something. How many times have you heard people say, she's just doing this, she's not going to mount to something, because look at their brothers, look at their fathers, look at their grandfather. But this is a negative that you never spoke. Even when they say so, you continue. You don't mind about them. You cannot change anyone. Remember, you can only change yourself. So continue to speak positive about you, positive about your children, positive about your beloved, and act. Yeah. So you notice with the law of confession, it's just like any other law. So when you speak, you need to continue doing it, you don't speak and say it is done. And you don't speak, for example, you can't say, me, I'm going to live until I am 50, until I am 90, until I am 100. I know from my clan, no one has lived above 50, but I'm going to leave. Then you stop there. You confess, you eat healthy, you exercise. Confession goes together with actions. What you speak should be what you do. You don't just confess and you do nothing and you think it will work. Likewise, the law of gravity. You don't just throw the stone up and you totally do nothing. You watch to come and fall. And I want just to make sure you know what's going to happen when you start to confess good. You are going to start to confess positive, but you will have wars, enemies that are going to try to drag you down. You need to understand that every law has got enemies. Every law. Let me give you an example. It is known that in the world, the law says don't kill. The law says don't steal. But how many people kill other people? How many people steal? So it's not surprising that every law has to have enemies, somebody fighting against the law. And likewise, when you start to speak positive, somebody is going to speak negative. Not even somebody. Your mind will say, you are telling me you're going to do business. In your family, who has ever done a business and you saw it progress? They don't succeed. They only start, then they give up. You better think of looking for a better job. Business is not your portion, to be honest with you. This is your mind, not somebody's mind. Your mind. But when now you go to confession, you say, I am going to run a business. And indeed, you run it. When you are running a business, you don't stop there. You keep on saying, I need to make my business succeed. So I have to do this tactic. I have to put this thing in place. I need to have some strategies. You confess, you do. You don't just confess and sit down. This is why the law says don't kill. And they put jails in place because they know there is someone who is going to break the law. And you, as well as you focus on the confession, put things in place that if this does not happen, this is going to happen. For this to protect this, every law should be protected, isn't it? To say, let's do this so that this law is not going to be broken. But regardless, it's going to be broken. But at least you've put measures in place. So put measures around yourself now. When you start to confess, to say, even when your mind comes to say, you know what, that is your family, your clan, you know you don't succeed in any business at all. Your clan, the maximum you can go is to be maybe a teacher. That's the maximum that you can go. But tell yourself that, I am not my clan, I am me. So if the me says this, and I focus, and I purpose, and I watch over it. Because what happens with the law of confession, when the words are spoken, the law of confession makes sure it focuses on whatever is spoken and it makes those things fulfilled. As long as there is law of confession and actions, they go hand in hand, remember? So you are home and dry. You know nothing is going to fail you. It is wrong now when you take part of the law of confession. You confess goodness the whole day, the whole night, the whole week, but you do nothing. It doesn't work like that. It's more like you put the law to say, no one should kill anyone, but you don't put jails in place. You don't put police in place. You don't even, you don't try nothing. No witnesses are being found. That you have already failed. This law will never work. This law will remain there because it's not going to fail, but it's not going to work to you. So it's like just the law of confession. If you put the law of confession and you confess and you don't act, it's not going to work. Therefore, respect the law of confession and put actions in place. Don't mind about your mind that tells you it's not going to happen. The moment you confess, the moment you act on it, as much as maybe you started without even believing in yourself, you notice you develop that tendency of starting to believe in yourself. Firstly, when you start, you notice it's even hard for you to believe. You try to say, I want to do business. Then you say, but so my brothers, my sisters, they've tried, my father, my uncle, they've tried. Don't worry, it's not going to come one day. Keep focusing. Do it, speak with the words, even if at first yourself you don't believe them. Speak them and act on them. And eventually you'll realize, now you start to believe to yourself. When you say, I am going to do this, you just believe you're going to do it. And you say, I'm going to do this, you just believe. This is how the law of confession operates. Thank you very much. Please comment on the video so that I learn more. Subscribe, share, and like. Thank you very much.